Hi there, have you checked the latest Classic Imagery collection? The newest 3D embossing folders are beautiful and perfect for all types of paper crafting. Come join me and I'll show you a few ideas on how you can add dimension to your next tags. Hi there and welcome to today's project. This is Natalie and I want to show you a few ideas on what you can create with the newest 3D embossing folders from the Classic Imagery collection from Altenew. And there are so many different types of folders that were just released. Classical images, also some beautiful florals. So I want to give you a simple idea on how you can add dimension to your next tags, and you can use them for all types of paper crafting, from gift wrapping to scrapbooking. So let's just get started. I'm going to start by die cutting my tags using the Terrific Tags die set. The only thing is I'm going to create a partial die cut because I want to have them a little bit longer than what the size of the die. So to do that, I'm just going to place my die, and I'm using gradient cardstock for this, and I'm just going to make sure that I create a partial cut. That means that I am going to place the top plastic for my wafer when I put in my die cutting machine so that it doesn't cut the bottom of the tag. So you're gonna see I've cut two pieces of gradient cardstock and one white cardstock, and all I'm gonna do right now is just go ahead and trim following the edge that the die created. Just extend it so I have longer tags. That's all I'm gonna do. So now that I'm gonna have it ready, and I'm using gradient cardstock from the Seashore collection and also from the Coffee Break collection. I just want those light tones because I think they're gonna bring it's interesting to have embossing folders used on colored cardstock. So now here's where we're gonna add the magic onto the cards, onto the tags in this case, and we're gonna use the new embossing folders. I am using the Areca Leaves 3D embossing folder to emboss my green tag, and this is from the Seashore collection. This is Mountain Mist, and all I have to do is just put it on my die cutting machine and pass it through, and you get this beautiful dimension. Now for my coffee gradient cardstock, I am using the Bed of Daisies 3D embossing folder, and what I do, you're gonna see, is that I have a really it's not really damp, it's just kind of a little bit of water on a piece of fabric. This is a microfiber towel, and I just kind of clean my tag with it. It adds a tiny little bit of moisture that just helps me to create that beautiful embossing on my cardstock. And now going back onto the project, for my last tag, I am using Nina 65-pound cardstock, and I'm gonna use a bunch of balloons 3D embossing folder to add the dimension onto the card. And then I'm just going to put everything aside, and then I'm gonna come back to show you how I'm gonna make the dimension that the embossing folders bring to the tags. Just make them kind of like pop from the tag. For this, I'm actually gonna use Enchanting Gold pigment ink for all three of the cards, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully rub the ink pad on top of the tags. So what is gonna happen is all the embossed areas, the ones that are popping from the tag, are just gonna pick up on the color. So you're gonna be very careful. You wanna go softly with your ink pad so that you create that soft effect, and you want to rotate your tag so that you have an even distribution, and you don't just get those drag marks in one way, but you actually get like a nice color diffusion on your tags. Again, it depends on what look you want to go for. If you just want to have that drag look, then go ahead and just do it one way. But if you want to have a nice distribution, kind of color the area, just go softly and just move your tag around. Now here I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm using my Bed of Daisies one, and I'm just slowly dragging. So what I'm doing that is just slowly going to add color to the tips of the petals. But I want to accent the center of the flower. So I'm going to be carefully kind of angle my ink pad so that the corner that it creates, I'm going to try to go in a circular motion on the center of the floral. That's just going to make the center a little bit darker, and that is all it's going to take. I'm going to make sure to set them aside so they completely dry before I show you a fun idea on how you can just bring a little bit of interest onto these tags. As they are already, they're beautiful and you can use them, but I just want to add small accents. I don't want to cover all the work that I've done. So I'm starting with a little bit of metallic thread. These are the ones from Altenew. And again, I'm using enchanting gold and also antique gold. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it a few times around each of the tags, and I'm going to make sure that I secure them, creating a knot at the front of my tag. Once I have them ready, I'm actually going to play with the wax seal. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start by melting some of the wax on top of the knot that I created with the metallic thread. So I'm just playing with some of the colors, and I think I want to use that cranberry magenta color red on top of my coffee cardstock, and I want to use the rose gold on top of my Mountain Mist cardstock. It's just gonna nice color combination. So I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because it takes a little while to get the wax melted, but I'm just gonna make sure that I melt enough wax that it creates my little application, and then I'm gonna add a few drops of the wax to the side. Think of it as adding enamel dots to your tag. So once I have enough to cover my wax seals, I'm going to bring one of my wax stamps, and I'm going to use the one that says thanks, just because I want the sentiment. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it on top of the warm wax, and it's going to create the impression. And you're going to see here in the red, it's not that clean, and I don't mind it because it doesn't take away from the background. But on the Eureka emboss tag, I actually went heavy, so I have a more defined wax seal. So that's all it's gonna take. Now for my third tag, because I already have those balloons and they're nicely colored, all I'm gonna do is I use some gradient cardstock to die cut the word celebrate using this fancy celebrate die. And all I'm doing is I'm just kind of stacking 3 of them, and for that I use some double-sided adhesive behind it, and I'm just gonna stack them. I'm gonna make sure that the last one does not have, the one that goes at the bottom doesn't have adhesive paper on the background, and then I'm just gonna glue it to the center of my tag, kind of on an offside, so that it goes along the entire tag. That as simple as that. That's all you need. You need a nice embossing folder. In this case, the ones in the Classic Imagery collection are just beautiful to emboss your tag and just add that dimension, add that interest that can bring and that wow factor to all types of your paper crafting. And I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you hop onto the blog to see a few more projects that I have created with the tags. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon.
Hello crafters, Jen here. For more tips, techniques, tutorials, and to discover which paper crafting products are right for you, subscribe to Altenew's YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Thanks for watching.